we're all about sharing the facts and teaching the tricks. Let's talk all things about music, the life of music. Let's engage about the rhythm. Let's talk about our passion for melodies, sound, and those beautiful classics. Let's get educated about these decibels we oh so dearly love. On this podcast, we talk about these politics. Welcome to Music Politricks.
Sanbonani Jimela Ankere except Nakalina Nabusi, Baba Kulu Baba Dese, Bariki the Queen of Pitori. A big shout out to all of you. Thank you so much for giving us love. Welcome to Music Politics. Oskalivala, click that notification bell, subscribe to the channel, comment, like, bona. Now, today I'm in the presence of greatness. Everybody wants to be their friend. Everybody wants to be very close to them and bona. Especially now these days, but to my DJ, people are superstars. And of course, it is event promoter extraordinaire, Mizz Coffi.
Hello, Lucy. How are you, Lucy?
Good job, okay?
I'm just exhausted. You know, a line of work.
Ish.
Labi, the maratare, ke hase.
Nah.
Ige, Marie.
What does your typical week look like? I mean, we're shooting this on a Thursday and you're tired. Of course, it was the 1st of May yesterday. What does your typical week look like?
I'm only available or free on Tuesdays. So every day I give points. Now when I get a Tuesday, there's always something coming up.
Hectic.
So there isn't any day that I'm actually off.
That's wild. Hey, do you rest? What do you do to just calm down, relax?
Vacation. I want a vacation with family. Don't have for peace of mind. But I still like getting more vacation. I'm still working.
Basically, right? Yeah. The superstars, they want to be. You are responsible to make sure who you bring in and who you don't. But how did you actually get into event promoting?
So I was in high school when I started off with entertainment day. At a very company label, Kumo Kumani. We started El Ferrari. It's a charity event, you know.
Okay.
And that's when I fell in love with it. Got 2010. Yeah, got 2010. And I was doing grade 10 at that time. So you can just imagine what get kind. So I started off a charity event and boom, got into the mainstream because of Bongo Beats. If it wasn't for Bongo, I mean, I wasn't even gonna be aware of it. I'm actually in love with the entertainment industry.
But what did Bongo Beats do? What role did he actually play to catapult you?
He actually introduced me to a lot of artists. Sis Nogwazi, Siswa, Mungo Africa. Uzulu Naija, Uzwapitoro Waiti. Yeah, Sage Otia Pitore, Bongo Beats.
That's amazing.
So he actually let me get a birthday. It was actually one of the biggest events I've ever done. Because Negiberga club years, but I've never really hosted something so big. So when he gave me the opportunity, I seized it. Can I go like Europe if he's
yes,
Lebusu legs. Not go like if he's what hurry nightlife, Bongo Pitor. Yeah. Europe.
Sure.
Channel M.
Yeah.
Kana go era.
Yes, ke lona ne le pitlagang tsa batho.
Go ke na ne retsa gore go be spiti ka motho la po batho ba palo go tsama.
But how do you put an event together? Like as an event promoter, what is the process? Okay, somebody comes to you, or I guess you then decide how you're gonna do an event. Then what?
So normally I work with. Let me take you through this. Let me give you an example, a typical example of a club, right? So motlabung. You find that a club owner calls me and say, now I want Danny Wonga, for instance. Because I've got a personal relationship with him. I can call him and say, hey, Danny, let's go, and then that's how we do it. And I always have to make sure we're available, we're sharp, we're right, sorted, and the works.
Okay.
Yeah. So I start the event from the bottom. I guess when I give one the host, now I get to my class. Can make her show, and here artist is a pitch.
Absolutely, because both of us are there.
Yo, and then in most cases we find where artists I pitch. I get a greedy. Our pitchy artist, I own a robot, chelete mo way. You feel away. Artist total look, this is my time slot, and your artist is late. I don't care.
And what do you do in those situations?
Normally, since I get more fun there, and then the artist gets to barata chele. So now I have to make sure that I've got funds available to actually pay back the club on and now have a gig that's pending with the artist.
Yeah, sure, because I get it, and sometimes you can actually switch the dates or something like that.
But in most cases, club owners don't want that anymore. Because they say it's already dented the image of the place. So if you can't value them once, I mean, how are they going to be aware for a short here where you wanna come the second time?
Understandable.
And also there's the reputation of the place. Mamang artist you know. So always you have to clean up the image because of Motomoan.
So then you start to push the event. So of course these days people use social media, but when you said you poster, what is the best way to actually ensure you are fully marketing something?
I wanna know, to be honest, social media girl. So you make sure that you release your poster in time, videos that's circulating to give people assurance that the art is really coming. But now, guru marketing, it's always been solid.
Yeah.
And it actually costs a lot of money, which most people are running away from. Because the banners, they are more than word of mouth.
And how about like the banners? Well, like I say, like
Almost
so.
not almost. No, I get the advance.
Okay.
No, the digital one. I want to lead the
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So that we saw was out the play in. I got a little is already playing a smart up. Very come channel and come on pretty shabby. So you always have to make sure that you place them in the right place. So that they also doesn't get removed. Otherwise we still late.
And when is the one point where you know that okay, this event is gonna be a flop?
I mean, it also starts with the artists that you book. Does it resonate with the type of audience that you like to attract or you currently have? And then go on. I want to mampara video. I do more bump.
Yeah.
More like a flop. So you always try to minimize the costs. Because why you do mampara?
Yeah.
And I want to have a ton of going. Not going to have it to even if you better 10 o'clock, more about our. So you always have to know where if it hits a certain time, rather postpone the artists than to actually bring them here and lose money.
How do you deal with losses? Because what happens when you've lost a lot of money? How do you recover that money?
You should need to go hard the next time. Unfortunately, losses are part of the game.
Yeah.
You lose some, you win some, you lose some. That's how it is. So when you do certain things, sure. It's always like that.
Yeah.
So losses, there's no way you can actually deal with them. You need to just improve on what actually didn't work the first time. And we do yeah. And no I actually did an event in Botswana and I lost a lot of money. Because the promoter that side, I met him through a mutual person. And trust or no, I mean, it's a mutual person. So if this person can trust this person, why not? So when they made a payment, they bounce back to you because of the username. And they give more influence.
Okay.
So the payment bounced back. The guy pretended as if he didn't get the money back. So I had to call my bank. Yeah. I had to call my bank. What's going on? This person hasn't gotten money. The bank actually gave me proof that no, this money was bounced back the same day. So because I trusted this guy, I was like, no, I'm gonna send it. It hasn't reflected my side. It's two different banks. You're using this bank, I'm using this brand. I'm in two different countries. Sharp. I let an artist board. Normally, that's the policy. We don't let an artist board without the full payment reflecting.
Sure.
Because I trusted this guy, Garage Sharp. Even today, it's been 2 years now. I've lost 2,000 dollars, excluding the bank charges. So I'm looking close to 5,000 dollars. And when I call this guy, he's not even picking up his calls.
So ghosting.
Yeah, ghosting. And I actually went to Botswana. Let me actually take it the legal route. This guy has lost it all.
Damn.
Because of greed.
Yeah.
So nobody actually wants to work with him anymore because of his flop.
Inevitably, right? But I mean, I can imagine that you've seen a lot of that. What's the worst case scenario you've ever seen in terms of maybe an artist or someone being booked, and because of how they treat people fairly,
I remember we did an event. Actually, I can't mention the artist. This artist who feel that big, when you think of a person who's a sokola and then also fame, humble, so that you must remember that fame is not there forever.
Yeah.
So once you have it, since we're making sure you seize the moment.
Yeah.
So this person, start looking down on people. You know, so how you go event them and shepa ka maboto? How am I shepa ka maboto? And there's like, no, you guys didn't get proper security. Like, no, we did. Remember, there's a certain extent that we can go in terms of your security. Mara, there isn't much that we can do. People you acting somehow towards them. Yeah, so that's the worst. So we dealt with cases, events organization.
What is the legal situation behind doing an event? What are the things that you need to ensure that are done legally?
The legal way to do it is make sure that there's right paperwork, because immediately, what's not paperwork?
Yeah.
So make sure that you get an invoice firstly before you actually pay someone. Verify before you make a full payment and get promo. If you don't get a promo video,
Yeah.
because people like against the person, you sorry. Look, my accounts are hacked, so there's nothing I can do. So always make sure that you get the right paperwork when you're doing events. Make sure that everything is solid from A to Z.
And do you have challenges as a woman being an event promoter?
Entertainment as a whole, like, because it's a male-dominated industry, people look down on you all the time, you know. And only sex slave, unfortunately. They see you as a sex object, not someone they can actually do business with.
That sucks.
Yeah. So you always have to work 2 times harder than men. But I feel like I'm one of the most fortunate ones where I've never really came across situations where maybe a promoter wants to sleep with me or an artist because how I conduct myself, or I don't know, but I think I'm just one of the few that are just fortunate where I've never really encountered that.
And have you heard of wild stories that happen to maybe a woman who's an event promoter?
A lot.
What typically happens?
What's the problem, Kid? There's events coordination. There's club hosting. Those are 2 different things. I feel like people don't understand the difference between both. So most situations, we club hosting because their job is to actually bring ballers. And they get a percentage of how much the baller spends.
Okay.
Which is risky because it's like, now you become a pimp in a way.
Basically, yeah.
Because you have to bring beautiful girls for those guys to spend. So most of the situations they pay, it's because of war. You know, the club hoster, they're pimps in a way.
Do you play a role somehow? Because as a woman, I would think that you had an opportunity to actually also protect other women, for lack of a better term. Do you do that? Do you do that consciously, or do you do it unconsciously? Do you do it at all?
I do, Mara. We need to understand who they and there's so much I can do and say. Look, this is my bank. How am I going to survive? I'd rather do this and that. In most cases, we try to help them over you end up fighting with them and say, I'm okay. They'll tell you I'm okay. Why are you interfering in my business?
And not like that.
Yeah. So you just let them be. You help those that you really see who they are more. But otherwise, there's somebody I didn't part. But otherwise,
It's honestly out of your control.
Yeah.
But look, I'm sure there was that one event. You know what? This is working out.
Yeah. People be.
What event was that for you?
I think the one that we did in Dubai. Firstly, it was my first time getting Dubai.
So cool.
And
Yeah.
I said to myself, I don't have to work for 6 months. But I thought, nah, if
Yeah.
so let me conquer more. But the one that we did in Dubai, it was the most successful.
Tell us more. What event was it? We want to know about the
I just said I don't know the specific location, but it was in the north side of Dubai. It was a club, and but we did an artist. Should I say the name or not?
Yeah, absolutely, please.
Yeah. So they called Taliwonga.
Nice.
So yeah, I was the broker between the both. So obviously I get my own broker fee, and then Dali gets his own. So I mean, ke yona eo ke itse gore ya and batho ba itse tshwara batho o tshwele mo hae mo and then like you're right there. Sometimes they don't book accommodation at the right locations. You have to travel miles.
Jeez.
Yeah, so well, if you everything a little traveling, I mean, stand it, stand it.
We look at
Don't believe that. You're once in a while. I want to ask you like, I don't get this feels like.
So how do you actually get to that point, right, where you're now also facilitating deals and promote events outside of South Africa?
So it's just connections, to be honest. How you contact yourself? Because I've worked with so many people. A friend of mine in this country once, this specific artist, work with them, build a relationship with them, and then that's how connection actually go around to say, hey, this promoter is actually good. Try them out. They're not greedy. The artist makes it on time. It's not too demanding, because in most cases, artists when they get overbooked, when overseas, yo, yes. 1, 2,
Hey, caviar.
But you understand? So when you travel with a person like Haseli, I feel it be too demanding, because why is it married? A nice time. Because once you find a nice time, you like I can tell like you get more and
that's also not good conduct, yeah?
Yeah, because it also dents the relationship that you have with Watomo.
Sure.
Because you need Watomo. They're going to book you frequently, unlike Watomo.
So you work in advance, you've got a couple of contracts with a couple of clubs.
A lot of work. A lot of work. Yeah, there's clubs that work on this one. I like to call them the resident star, because I'm the broker, I'm the promoter. They don't outsource besides one. So if there's anyone that wants a gig or about a gig, they refer them to me. It's only Jojo in Mabone.
Sure.
So if anyone wants to come to perform at Jojo, they go through my bridge. Yeah.
CEO
levels by.
And then now, right now we're in a culture where, of course, we've seen it. You know, people will brand themselves wonderfully. You know, they'll get just the right snippets of whatever's needed and post it on social media. But the branding part is solid. But maybe they can't actually DJ. Maybe.
Yeah,
you know, so
there's a lot. There is a lot. Anyway, everyone is a DJ nowadays.
Yeah.
And they even burn speakers. We can't even say their names, but they burn speakers. Or when you look good as a woman, you can do anything. And that's the saddest thing, because people that have got talent have a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Margoli, one hit wonder, about Zama DJ, because they look good, they've got a following.
Yeah.
But you know, now I don't know who came up with this thing. We deal with influencers. We rather book an influencer than book a motaito DJ. I mean, who packs Africa, they know how to DJ.
Yeah.
But you can never take packs. You rather take a DJ or an elephant base, at least, or the followers. Forgetting what these followers, people actually buy them. Yeah. One 1 million views. I mean, 1 million followers, Mara. Or check out the like sides of picture. If you we put this, sorry. Kanja.
So where do you draw the line? I mean, are you someone who's like, do you run with that? Like, what's your stance?
I have to. If a club owner says, no, I want this person, whether we do DJ, I play. I brief I'm feeling, because if I do whatever I want to do, lose a marriage. And it means we're going to mirror since I get 9 to 5. I can't go. I can't go about the stress. I was almost depressed. Yeah. I worked corporate, so I know. I was almost depressed. I don't want to go back there.
And tell us more about the corporate. What were you doing in corporate?
So I'm a brand specialist by profession. I studied marketing.
Okay.
Mara, I decided to utilize that into the entertainment space more than the corporate. Because like if I got an advertising company, I would see you are making millions from this other brand, but you're not even getting 10% from that. Something I think about class, right? Toodles plus the weekly not like give away amatomela like the combos are not communicating. Resign, and I've been happy ever since.
But it's so cool though, you know, because it's knowledge that does not become unused. You are still using that knowledge.
True that. Because I'm still using my qualifications still, like a little more entertainment thing. So that's why I give a little marketing. It doesn't really broaden me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Hey, how do you then actually work with brands as an event promoter? What is the relationship with brands? Do you hit up the brand? Does the brand hit you up? How does it work?
So normally the brands work with clubs directly because why? They have to check the sales. So if a specific brand you would look, I want to check the sales of our product. Is it moving or what? And then okay, this is the artist that we want for a month, and they allocate a budget. Okay, budget are gonna give 10 million for the whole year.
Okay.
So I have to make sure that I'm within target, and then present the report on time so they can pay the club. But unfortunately, after 3 months, so still the club has to pay the artist in advance. They only get the money back after 3 months.
I see. That's cool. What are the coolest brands you work with?
I'm not quite sure if I can disclose them, but yeah. One of the Sunset one, not sure. The Sunset one. That's
crazy.
yeah. Yeah. Ke bona ba travel sign, you can actually go. I like the fact that we're going to Mozambique, and I love Mozambique. So we travel too much, and then you get to travel with them a lot.
That is so cool. Worst brand? What did they do?
Hey, and they want the impossible sometimes, because when we're hosting an event on a normal Friday, they would say they want a specific corner, and you cannot sell anything for that day's until brandable. So meaning that you're losing money.
Absolutely.
So to focus about brandable. So people can buy the side that they did.
It's very tricky when it's like that because
But forced, and they will tell you, no, we're selling at discount, so you have to make it work. But one loser, because why you do no, we see a specific brand so when I loser, you're a gin type of girl, only cognac. So now they're forcing you to drink something that you don't want. So now if I had the competition, how chance who about for that day, you lose in sales.
Who are some of the best artists to work with when it comes to being an event promoter?
Maestro. I am Maestro. Wait till there's something about that guy. Like, he's so humble.
Yeah.
And yet he helps so many people.
Yeah.
Also, I like in a way. Just at the end, I know them lighting. Hey, get to stay man, I humble tata. Anastre, so we did 10 get 10.
Sure.
I just change your I get on my Maputo. I grill in a what?
It's done.
It's that. I'm not going to change your Hey, Coffi, I got a gig in Mozambique. Can we postpone your gig? Now, what then you've been pushing the poster for more than 3 weeks. So now you have to go back and redo. And by the time about the artist, there was not available. And now, since we're with upcoming artist thing, and you know, sometimes they don't pull the crowd.
Yeah.
So just the rest of things.
The worst artists to work with.
Yeah, Western that's going to.
Okay, what's that guy artist?
It's one mid-trend, no matter what KZN.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why are they the worst? Weirdly.
Hey, Rider High. 3 Hennessy. And VSOP, by the way.
Okay.
Free champagne. Hanagali tequila. So, homo level, you're looking at close to 12 bottles and you wonder, when are you actually going to drink these bottles?
Absolutely.
And Atlabali Koki. You know, Zulu people, they're very cocky. So, Atlabali Koki comes with a squat. And you can't communicate with them, you have to talk to the manager. But when you did the booking, you were talking to them. But now, because they're there, they want to act all big, or the manager.
That's very hectic, eh?
What about 12, 10? Maybe one on the food plate. Business on lose. The hubby, unlimited hubby.
So now my thing is, are they getting like their booking fee? Is it around that amount of money of the rider?
Yeah, you know, that's the sad thing about artists. They don't think. Rather say, with the money that you're supposed to give me a rider. Yeah, don't take unfair one. Nam femi itigisha.
Yeah.
Zomatade. But that way, when you go to Kuntunya, how this day. When you go to Tavena Gamara, I mean, you could have utilized maybe rider how it's close to 20,000 rands. Hey, can you please give me 10% of my rider? The money, then I'll use it as a incredible booking fee. I like now just utilizing it on alcohol. You get wasted. Tomorrow, tilaga babalas.
And that's actually a brilliant idea. Yeah. I think people should actually look into
they won't.
that.
Basali basalalema. Basali basalalema. Lee status so salalema.
Yo.
Because most of them, they want this hectic riders because of status on girls. That's what I saw. Like it's on a good thing.
Alright, so I'm just wrapping up there, Mizz Coffi. I want to know, right? If an artist is watching this, right, and they want to actually get gigs, they want to put themselves out there, what is the best thing they should do to put themselves out there to get the attention of people like you?
I think, to be the right platform now, it's social media, TikTok. You don't have to be on radio. You don't have to be on television. Just put your work on TikTok. Make sure you get your friends to repost your work, post your work. Utlo create momentum we batlang. You get the exposure without paying anyone anything.
Yeah.
Because no baba charge, baba irang. You just have to utilize the resources that you have.
Yeah.
Utlo create. That's so cool. And about trend, about the overseas, via the UK, via the guy.
That's
Come
cool.
look at TikTok.
That's cool.
But people are still focused back. Movie radio, movie TV. Those people will come on board.
Yeah.
Once when we push it. So they may love we sign a big company. But a lot of the artists, but a lot of bunch. I wish I didn't take this decision rush to actually get signed. And stay away from your friends. Your friends cannot be your management. Part of management, you find that they don't even have the skills to manage an artist.
Jeez.
Then words are off air for it. When artist management that I am with flow pieces because each one is a high. He never makes it on time. He doesn't page. If he doesn't make it on time, he doesn't page. Like always. And you cannot take the gigs at the same time, the distance.
Yeah, and it's just pure normal logistics. Like just get gigs in the same area.
They don't because of weed. Motota gigi, Bumalanga, at the Pitori, at the Jews, official Nakomang. Because only got time slot high, official Nakomang. They say dangerous, so they end up even rushing to gigs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's at night also.
It's not safe.
So let's say someone wants to get into your space. What advice would you give them and what should they do to actually start getting a little bit of experience or just doing something?
Networking. Put yourself out there, network. Even if you feel like, yeah, I move, I can fit it in. Look, happy later. Happy later, I want to go out and look. Happy later. Network, asanya ko nagamuntu I go kopana batho. Here go text, here go around. You for playing, rather lose money that you're making connections that are going to be there forever.
Yeah.
So networking.
Incredible. Thank you so much, Mizz Coffi.
Thank you for having me.
You're so cool.
Yeah. Garanga. I'm
Nah, shout out. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. And I'm sure that, I myself have learned so much just from this conversation. And I hope that you did too. And of course, from Mizz Coffi and myself, Nakalina Namusi, Abakulu Babadeze, Barigita Queen of Pitori and